Welcome to the Estate Professionals Mastermind podcast, a podcast for estate professionals who earn more, work less, and make a huge difference in their communities. If you get value out of this free content, be sure to check out ProbateMastery.com, where you can get live classes, access to weekly coaching, and valuable courses. To learn more, visit ProbateMastery.com. Now let's jump into this week's content.
Okay, let's light this fire. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are. I'm Bill Gross. This is the Probate Mastery weekly free real estate coaching call. We get together every Tuesday, 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern, and everything in between or either side, to learn and to work together to be better, building our real estate practice, selling, listing, focus on probate real estate. We work with investors as well. The focus of this call is more on real estate agenting. I'm Bill Gross, at Bill Gross Probate on social media, or BillGrossProbate.com is my website with my contact info. I'm a practitioner. I list property in Los Angeles, California, and throughout California. I currently have about 13 listings. Just listed 10 properties on one probate estate last week and getting all those kind of up and running. So this is what I do. I work on listing and then selling my listings. As a real estate broker, I'm not selling the coaching, I'm not selling data, though I do support Probate Mastery as I think the best tool to help you go from, how do I get started, to actually building a business in real estate. Now, real quick tour. The website's ProbateMastery.com, ProbateMastery.com. If you go here, there's a couple of great free videos worth watching to give you a taste of where we're at. Probate opportunity, marketing, and prospecting worth watching. This call, free coaching and training. If you're not subscribed to it, click on it. If you're watching this on recording, you can go to the weekly coaching call, fill out the information, and you'll get reminders for the Zoom call or replays on YouTube or whatever's appropriate for you. You can continue the conversation on our Facebook community. Just click here, and they'll take you to the Estate Professionals Mastermind. And you'll have questions, referrals, and such going on there. And then separately, if you want more information about Probate Mastery, a course, scroll down, enroll Probate Mastery, and there's a couple different options on payments and other programs you can add to the program as well. And then you can click on Talk to a Specialist if you want to get more personal information on how you can work that program and how to work for you. I'm glad to give a testimony as a past paying customer, I think two times or three times, in the prior ownership, current ownership, both live and on-demand formats. Separately, I'm Bill Gross. I host ProbateWeekly.com, and that's a free podcast every Thursday, 4 p.m. Just put your email information here. You'll get invited to it. And then I also have a Facebook group, Probate Weekly. Continue the conversation there. Love to have you. And if you want to get to meet with me, Bill Gross Probate, and you'll get all my contact and programs, everything that I'm working on. So this is meant to be participative. It's done on Zoom so that you can ask questions. The reason we do this, the reason why I'm here is I need this. I need accountability. I need the challenges. And that's why I host it, was when the prior owner wasn't able to host it. I stepped in as a substitute and continue to do it most time to this day. So let's see. Feel free to ask questions, type them in, raise your hand, or unmute yourself and come in live and hot if you want to, family style. Laura says, I joined Probate Mastery, was not aware of today's coaching call until earlier this afternoon. I've top off soon, but wanted to say hi, thank you, and watch later on YouTube. Thank you, Laura. One of the things I think that is critical in building your business is having procedures and processes and certain accountability and team members. So I make this call on my calendar every week. I'm sure I do more business than almost all of you. That doesn't mean I don't need accountability. It doesn't mean I don't need to learn new ideas. It doesn't mean I can't learn from each of you. And also I look for referrals and new systems to add to my business. So that's why I'm on the call. I would say make this a weekly experience. I find them people who are successful do certain things on a regular basis. Okay, so again, if you have questions, raise your hand, put in the chat box. I'll get to them. I wanted to kind of share a couple things. One is for any real estate agent who is, well, all our real estate agents are under tremendous pressure right now with the new changes as of Saturday or today or whatever it is for you. And I think changes are like in sports transitions, great opportunities if you grab them, right? When there's uncertainty and questions and lack of experience, that's your chance to go from maybe being uncertain and inexperienced to being experienced and having clarity. And so the changes in the NER settlement, depending on what state you're in and what company you're in, is a great opportunity to master the forms and master the new procedures, because I know on the phone already, and talking to numerous agents, most of them are fumbling. Most of them are unclear. Most of them are therefore one step slower. You know, if you ever played sports, if you follow football, professional football, or even college, there's a concept called playing fast. When you know what you're supposed to do and you have to think about it and you just do it, you play fast. You'll notice defensive players running up faster because they're just reacting because they know what to do. As realtors, we want to know what to do and run fast. When we're not sure, and the customer says, hey, I'm going to make an offer, and you go, oh my gosh, I know I have to have a buyer agreement form filled out with commissions, and what do I do? You're not playing fast, you're in your head. And you have to be so good on this stuff that you immediately convey experience, knowledge, and power to your customer. That's your opportunity to sell them on working with you. So I urge all of you to really look at whatever forms are appropriate for you and your state or your company. I'm with the XP. We have additional company forms that as alternative to the CAR forms, California Association of Realtor forms. We have new California Association of Realtor forms. I've read them all. And even still, I'm not playing as fast as I used to. I'm still reviewing. I'm still learning. I'm still getting new questions I didn't know before. And I spent a lot of time on this stuff. I'm going to challenge all of you. Learn the stuff so you can play fast. One is at least read the freaking probate purchase agreement addendum if you're in California, an advisory form. If you're not in California and you want to see what the form looks like, email me or text me. I'd be glad to send you a copy of it. Or I'll put a copy in my Probate Weekly Facebook group after this call. Because I think even if you're in another state that doesn't have such a form, we cover all the key questions that might apply to you. We're really lucky in California to have an association that's done such a great job of giving us the tools to master our relations with our customers, protect ourselves, protect our brokerage, and protect our customers. I'll tell you that last year, over half my business, in fact, the last 2 or 3 years, half or 2/3 of my business has been commercial or vacant land. At my old brokerage, I don't want to badmouth my old broker, Section 21 Masters, Neil Schwartz. I don't want to say anything bad about him. Lied to me for years that we can't do business with commercial vacant because it was so difficult. And that wasn't true. He wanted us to refer the business to top producers in the office as a way to keep them there. Because when you really look at the forms, it's actually easier, much easier to do a vacant land or commercial property than it is residential. Much less regulation. The key is the relationship. So my business in probate moved me into commercial and vacant land space. I just listed $10 million worth of commercial land and vacant land this past week because I'm a probate expert. And if agents call me with a little snotty attitude, well, you're not a downtown LA expert. Oh, you're right. But guess what? I got the contract. And the reason why is not because I cold called or fooled them. It's my customer who is a fiduciary, professional fiduciary, and as attorney know I can best protect them and get the best outcome through a probate process because I know it. And it's very complicated in LA and in California. So it's not that I fooled them or tricked them into doing business. I earned the business from my expertise. That's what I'm offering to you guys and challenging you to. I know the CAR forms, California Association of Realtor forms. Now in LA, I don't know about anybody else here do commercial. If you do, put commercial in your city. And if you do commercial outside of LA, what forms do you use? In LA, the alternative forms are AIR forms, the Association of Industrial Realtors or something like that. And it's funny because my whole career, commercial agents would say, oh, I use AIR forms. As if to say, like, I'm I don't know, related to the King of England or something stupid like that. Fascinating, they don't even know. When you read the default heir form purchase agreement, in the default form, it says, this is not a probate sale. Can you imagine somebody giving you an offer on a probate listing? It says in the contract, this is not a probate sale. Like, is the contract even valid? Now, yes, you can amend that out, but that does not protect the customer or the agent or the seller or the seller's agent in a case of a complicated probate sale that requires court confirmation of the sale. And in California, we have separate forms for that. So I would say to them, not only do I know your form is wrong, I contacted the AIR legal analyst who confirmed not only is that correct, the form's wrong, there's no addendum. You need to have your own attorney write your own addendum. And that's the power I can use now to put those agents on their heels to say, I'm not just some weak, foolish realtor who fumbled into your deal. I'm a pro, and you should treat me with respect. And that changes the whole relationship. So my challenge to you guys is to learn the forms or learn the procedures of commercial and make yourself available for probates, because it's only natural that, like all business, better customers also own commercial industrial properties. Hey, Green, how you doing? Nice to see you. I'm sorry, Reine, I like Green. So focused on getting that right. What's up, Reine? I just watched your video the other day. By the way, you do a great job on Probate Help Desk. If you guys don't know, Probate Help Desk on Facebook group, definitely worth checking out. Okay. Carl Reed asks, can I tell you how to get involved in the easy online platform on Bruce's call? I wasn't on that call. I know a little bit about the easy platform, just enough to mislead you and confuse you. So, Carl, I'm going to ask you to put that question in the Estate Professional Mastermind Facebook group. Not only that way can you get that information, but everybody can benefit in the Facebook group from that. So I'll put the link to the Facebook group in the chat and hope that helps you. Okay, Carl, are we good? Thank you. I just don't really, to be honest, he talked about it. It's not for me. I think that platform's great in smaller markets. I'm in the second largest market in the country. So that kind of online platform just isn't really, I don't need it for one. And I try to keep my life a little simpler. Okay. Joseph says, I'm new to probate, but not invest in real estate. I'm in SoCal. Great. Shout out to SoCal. My fiance and her mother both registered real estate agents. Her mother's very well established. My question is, do I need to get my license too, or have latitude as an investor in delegating listing agreements to my soon-to-be wife or mother-in-law? Well, Joseph, it would be complicated enough if it was your fiance and wife, then you added mother-in-law. I don't know how to answer that. I guess it depends on your relationship. I don't know why you wouldn't want your license. I know that people who are dishonest would say, don't get your license. And I think people who are nervous and don't know would say, well, license limits you. But to be honest, most every great real estate investor I know, that's not quite true. So many of them have the license. It gives you additional opportunities, gives you additional authority. You can belong to the MLS if you want to. You can if you don't have a license. I guess you could go through your wife or mother-in-law's license. So I don't know. Again, I think that's kind of personal. I don't know how to answer that as far as your relationship. I know I'm a real estate investor as well. I'm primarily a real estate broker. That's how I make my money. And I take my excess income and invest in real estate with that. So again, how to answer your question. I think that's kind of a personal question. I don't know why you wouldn't get it, but again, that'd be up to you. Hope that helps. Anybody else who has an opinion on that, feel free, especially if you're a mother-in-law, feel free to put your own answer on that one. Okay. Who else has questions, comments? It's so funny that when I go into, oh, yeah, it's interesting. When I go into, for this Zoom, I log in different than my normal business, and that ID is not logged into Facebook to the state mastermind group. So as a result, I can't. It's so weird. I can't. I want to get questions out of that group. Here we go. There we go. Okay. Funny. Okay. Other questions? Man, you guys are quiet today.
Bill, I have a question, but I can't figure out how to raise my hand today.
Well, that's good enough. You just did.
Okay, cool. Working on the email, and this week I used Mailchimp to start mailing to people who have given me their email address in probate help desk. And I had almost a 50% open rate, so I was really excited about that.
Wow.
And I haven't added in my sphere of influence yet. That's coming next. This is a little odd question because I know you typically tell us to work through referrals and not always do cold, but I was just kind of curious with something like Mailchimp, if I wanted to do cold emails to personal representatives or family members that I get in the court records. They have not given me permission to mail, and I see that it could impact my bounce rates and all of that other good stuff. Do you have any thoughts on cold email to email addresses that we get out of the court records?
I wouldn't. You know, I think I would say I don't have a crystal ball, but actually I do have a crystal ball. It's right there somewhere. Let's see, there it is. You see a crystal ball?
Yep.
It doesn't work. I bought it on Amazon. I was really excited about it. But I think that increasingly, we all know technology is taking over our lives a little bit at a time. What technology can't replace is real, authentic human interaction. It can simulate it, but it can't replace real, authentic. So what do I mean by that? You can have chatbots that if somebody's happy, the chatbot will work. But what it doesn't have is your voice, your texture, your heart, your sense of where they are, which might be soft heart or harder heart, what they perceive and what they want. That's our advantage. And the technology, I think that a lot of these tools in my career, I look back now over 36 years, and I see these different tools that have empowered us, but diminish our human interaction. So email to me is a great tool to have a limited stay in touch with people who I've already met. Or I can put out an offering to get people to participate in something that they might find interesting. But increasingly, that's more and more competitive, more and more challenging because I'm competing with Facebook and Google and Amazon and Twitter and YouTube and AI. So I really want to put all my energy into relationships and use the technology to maintain the relationships, not use technology to generate the relationships. So to answer your question, I think you're right. When you email out cold, it lowers your open rate, and that's valuable. You know, whoever you're using Mailchimp or SendGrid or whoever, they give you respect for your open rate. You'll get more people's inboxes as a result. And when you spam mail, it goes down. Eventually, it becomes less effective for you. So I think you're right to concern that. I think the thing I always try to do is get people who signed up what they want and get more people to sign up. And so rather than focus on the cold people at the courthouse, I would more focus on at least people give you their email on your probate help desk. What more can you do to give them more value? Because hidden in there are a few of those people that you want. Not all of them, not most of them, maybe not even 10%. But if it's 300 and it's 1%, that's 3. How can you shake out those 3 to get them to raise their hand and say, hey, I'm one of those neighbors of the courthouse you might have bought and spammed, but I'm actually in your Facebook group and have seen some of your content. like you, appreciate you, and I have a question. That's really what you're working towards.
Thanks. I needed to hear that. I knew that was going to be the answer, but sometimes you just need to be reminded.
Well, and that's why I'm saying it, because I need to hear it myself, and I only believe it when I say it myself. But I'll show you guys. I'm redoing my YouTube channel where I've done a lot of more sporadic interviews, and the highlights of those. We're now going to go back and focus to fewer highlights, fewer videos, but more focus on what were people paying attention to based on metrics. And I just think overall, the more we leverage our successes and our actual interactions, that will distinguish us from the robots and the AI stuff.
Well, and to that point, I still have the next phase in my plan was to start reaching out to the attorneys, and so I still have that entire frontier that I've got the everything I wanted to have in place is now in place, and so I need to spend more time building relationships with those attorneys.
But I would urge you to start with the attorneys that are in your Facebook group already.
Yeah.
And then those that are in your COI, and then
Mhm.
try to get other attorneys out of your COI and then go cold. But my guess, if you did it right, you would have more attorneys are ready to talk to than you could ever get to cold call.
Yeah, in fact, in my so when people join and they answer the membership questions, I ask them what is their role in probate? Are they an heir, a family member, personal representative, attorney, realtor? And there's a pretty good number of attorneys in that group who have given me their email address, and I've been meaning to start with them and just build that relationship. And a couple of them I've already built some good relationships.
I would much rather you go deeper with them than spam 500 other attorneys.
Thank you.
Good. Thanks, son. It was a pleasure. And by the way, let's get your link in for the probate help desk. If you put that in the chat, but definitely worthwhile. If you want to see what somebody's done in short order, it's embarrassing how quickly he's grown that group. Probate help desk is the name of it. And Reine, if you put the link in the chat box so that people can join in and participate and ask questions, especially around the country, great place for referrals. Okay. Louay asks, what's your best advice for beginner newbie to probate and real estate investing? Louay, I don't know if you're on the call, if you want to unmute yourself and we have a conversation, or I can give a generic answer that probably won't really apply to you, but if you want to turn on your video and or unmute yourself or not, you're at work. Okay. It's hard to answer that question. You're a beginner real estate agent or you're beginner to probate, but you've been in real estate. And are you a real estate agent or are you a real estate investor? I'm just not clear on your question, how to answer it. And I want to just give you an answer. Sonia.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, let me turn on the light. I just want to. Yeah, actually, don't know why the video is not.
That's okay. So are you new as a real estate agent or just new? You're an established agent new to probate?
No, I'm trying to enter the real estate investment world, not an agent.
So you're not currently an agent. You're looking to start.
Yeah, I'm not an agent yet.
Starting as an investor, I think, that's a whole different call and discussion. And I would say you want to find three things. You want to find a coach or mentor. You want to find a group, and you want to find a system of procedures. You should not spend any money or much money until you've gotten some value from them. So I would, spend more than, for a meeting, the cost of lunch or breakfast or something maybe, but I would spend $5,000 to join a group. That, to me, by definition, those are not worth your time. Online, I would recommend Grant Cardone. I would recommend drawing a blank on sub-twos. Ace Morby. But again, they both have expensive programs, but they also have a lot of content for free. And I would watch the free, associate with the free before I spend money on joining either one of them. Those two appeal to me. There's a million of them. I put them on my channel from time to time. But I would say as an investor, you need to find somebody who can help you through that process. That's not really my gig for this call. Okay, Stephanie Wright. I don't know if you're on the call. If you want to come in live, there you are. You want to unmute and we'll have a little conversation. Says she's been reaching out to attorneys not having success. So let's talk about that. What are you doing? What calling are you doing that's not working?
Well, because they have like a gatekeeper or what have you like that, so
Mm.
you never get in touch with the attorney. And then so now I'm thinking like I can reach them on like LinkedIn or send out like an email, trying to get the attorneys I created a website that I'm trying to create like a refer network for the attorneys and anyone who's dealing with the probate process, like clean out or anything like that. So I'm trying to reach out to attorneys so I can collaborate with them.
Okay. So, and I'm sorry, maybe I should know the answer to this. Where do you sell real estate?
Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia.
And how long have you been in the business?
Real estate, 25 years.
Okay. So you must have a database of past clients, contacts, um, met at open houses, wrote offers for, went on listing appointments, didn't get, past clients and such, correct?
Correct. Mhm.
How many such people like that do you have?
Last week, I don't know if I ever talked to this many people before over 25 years, but it's kind of, I don't know how I get so many people in my phone, but right now I have 16,000 people.
Yeah. So here's my point. You've met more attorneys and or clients who have attorneys than you'll ever need. You just haven't sifted them out. I love the TV show Gold Rush. I think it's off the air now and there's break-off versions of it. But it's about the process of getting gold, which is you get a hunk of land and you move tons of dirt to get ounces of gold. And we tend to think that attorneys who will give you listings are like going to the mall at December, Santa Claus, the attorneys, and give you a candy cane, which is your listing. It doesn't work that way. You need to sift through those that have a relationship with you or will have one with you and to earn that and to build that. Now, you mentioned a couple ideas you're working on, which is great. But I think that I would more look for, I can just tell you, I literally listed an estate of $10 million worth of property with an attorney who I've known for 25 years. 5 years ago, when I entered probate, I didn't know he did probate real estate. He really doesn't. He's a civil litigator attorney. But he has a client who passed, who had an estate. He hired a probate attorney, and they in turn hired me to be the agent to sell the property. So, and this is the second time this happened to me in 5 years. So when I say this, I know it's not satisfying. It didn't sound like the easy answer because it's not. It's the hard answer. But the hard answer, the hard work is what the value is. You have 1,600 people on your phone. How many of those you have emails on? And are you creating value for them regularly? And one thing you might do is talk about the importance of probate to avoid it. You're in Georgia for sure. Georgia's a lot like California. You don't want to go to probate court. You want to avoid it. How do you avoid it? There's some simple principles that you can share, or you could get an attorney to share. And you can ask your clients, hey, I'm looking for a probate attorney to talk to. Is there somebody that you know? And you're going to find out your past client from 5 years ago, their wife was a probate attorney. Their wife works as a paralegal for a probate attorney. Their cousin's a probate attorney down the street from you. That's the business you're not working toward to get today. The easy answer is not buying data and cold calling strangers. The right answer is the hard work of reaching out to people you already know, sifting through them, and finding there your opportunity to be of service to those people that then you can do business with.
Okay. Makes sense. Thank you.
My pleasure. And then how do you do that? Well, you have an email database. You email regularly. You create video like Reine did. You create a Facebook group where you create value for people that they want to go to and hang out. That's the harder work that we do in the long run. Okay.
What do you think about text marketing?
Don't like it.
Reaching
Well,
out
let me
to
ask
them
you
through
this.
text.
How do you like getting text marketed? I mean,
Well,
I
I'm getting
get. I
too
mean,
many of them now.
I'm gonna look at my phone just because we're here. Now I get a lot of texts because I'm an agent, but I probably get 10 or 20 text marketing opportunities a day. Do you like those?
Not really. I have purchased on some of them, but no, are not. I don't really have time to look at them, tell you the truth.
What do you think of people when they text market as they're opening?
You're probably like, why are they texting me and I don't know them? Something like that.
So there you go. Sounds easy. Here's the thing to remember. If you could dominate probate real estate in your market, Stephanie, remind me, where in Georgia are you again?
Atlanta.
Is there a sub-market of Atlanta that you're in?
I'm right in the midtown of Atlanta.
Okay. If you dominate midtown probate real estate in Atlanta via text messaging, Google would do every listing. Zillow would do every listing. Redfin would do every listing. Why don't they? Because that doesn't work. It might look like it works. It might work in the beginning or for a while. And if it does work, eventually Google or Redfin figure it out and will replace you with it. Versus you have 16,000 people you've done business with, but you've not talked to them to figure out, of those, some are attorneys, some of them are probate attorneys, some of them are estate planning attorneys, some of those are customers who inherited a house and don't know what to do.
Okay. Good deal. Thank you. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, Stephanie. Always a pleasure. Okay. There you go. That's not the easy answer. Albert says well, the answer gave us the truth. We filed that comment or that section or Bill was right. My wife says she married Mr. Right. Mr. Always freaking right. The door's closed, so she can't hear that, so I can say that out loud. I talk real big with doors closed. When doors open, I got to be a little careful. That's how you stay married for 38 years. Okay, other questions?
I do have a question.
Great. Jocelyn, what's going on?
Yeah. Hi, Bill. I just discovered your program. I think I've been on a call maybe like 2 or 3 times. So it's wonderful. So I'm in California. And I remember
I like that you start off with a compliment like that. That's fantastic. It just really soothes my ego. Thank you.
So I work predominantly in Orange County, Reine, Newport Beach area. And I'm a member of multiple chambers. In fact, I'm an ambassador for both of those chambers. So I meet a lot of attorneys and just through conversation. And I know the like, know, and trust factor. So I know it's not like, hey, I met you, give me business. But just from conversations, because both the chambers do encourage like one-on-ones, meet outside of the chamber meetings to get to know somebody more, that sort of thing. And the feedback that I get, and my style isn't really pitching like, hey, I'm trying to sell something, more like getting to know them. The feedback that I get is that most of them, majority of them, already have a network of real estate agents that they work with. So my question to you would be, and forgive me if you've addressed this prior, like I said, I'm new. And my question would be, how do you position yourself where it's like, I don't know you, I just met you, but we're part of the same network of people. Like how, and I've been told directly by somebody like, you all need to stop mailing stuff to our office because we're not going to give you business because we already have business that we give to agents. We're already using this agent. So whatever this agent can do, whatever you say you can do, I'm sure my agent who I already have a relationship with for years can do it. So that's kind of my question is like, how do you overcome that? And they're not rude by any means. It's just factual. So that would be my question is like, how do you break into that when they're already saying the mailers don't work? They get a ton of the stuff being mailed to their office consistently, letters, marketing materials, food, and they're like, it's just not working. What are your thoughts?
So a couple of things. Great question, Jocelyn, who does business in the OC behind the orange curtain. And you can say with a little head about it. She's behind the OC. I grew up in Orange County, so I can say that. I would say two things. One is we all, from time to time, come across what I call Nasty Neli. Nasty Neli is on a mission to make sure you're as miserable as they are. I remember when I started in probate, I had a very good friend who was an attorney who I'd done really good work for before I got into probate. Didn't work for him personally, didn't work for his clients, helped him market his practice. I'd really create a lot of value for him. And he said, hey, I have this friend who's a attorney in probate. She's great and can work with you. And I called her and she was so nasty. Almost what you're saying was her script. Basically, it was just F off and die. I hate realtors. And it was discouraging, but I didn't get discouraged. I've since, in 5 years, because I'm in the LA County Bar Association chat, I just see what a nasty Nelly she is. And she doesn't do that much business because guess what? Nobody likes doing business with nasty Nelly. Some do, but generally people don't like that person. So there has never been a person in the history of business who would say that to anybody who was ever the best in their business. The best in the business is always looking to improve their vendors, always looking for new technology, new systems, new ideas, new help, new ways to do business and serve the customer, always. In my experience, looking back on the last 38 years, always the best are always looking to improve. So when somebody says that to you, you just need to you need to accept that's who they are. Avoid them. They're like toxic waste. Like when you ever interact with that person, you should imagine a hazmat suit on your body. And whatever they say sticks to the suit and doesn't get into you. Because I believe you have a mission in the world to help other people. They don't. Their mission in the world is to share their misery. There's a great book called A Course in Miracles. And one of the lines in the book is, all communication is either a cry for help or expression of love. Since that expression is not expression of love, it's a cry for help. This is a miserable human being who's looking for help. And all you can have to do is be polite to them and move on. There's another line in sales, which is some will, somewhat, some will, some won't, so what next? Because out of all the attorneys in Orange County, yes, there are negative Nellies, and there's some that will work with you, and some that are dying to work with you, but don't know who you are, because negative Nelly has killed the initiative of those other agents, and they're waiting for you. How would I know that to be true? So the process I would recommend to think about is, this is before I was married. If I went to a bar and you were there, right? I walk into a bar and I'm a single guy and you're there. I don't need to ask you if you have a boyfriend. If you're in a bar on a Friday or Saturday night without another man, you might think you have a boyfriend. Somebody might have kissed you before you left and thought he was your boyfriend. There might be a guy expecting your call or text later that night who thinks he's your boyfriend. But if you're in the bar, you don't have a boyfriend by definition. And so I think that even negative Nelly, behind her polluted, cold, black heart, is desperate for help. They're just not able to ask for it in an appropriate, effective way without their own emotions getting in the way. I can assure you, Jocelyn, there are plenty of attorneys in Orange County who need better service from knowledgeable real estate agents. How do I know that? I literally have a case right now, listing right now in Anaheim with a very nice attorney in Anaheim who told their client they know everything about probate, and everything he said that I saw in his email was wrong. He wrongly said the commissions had to be 6%. Not true. Couldn't be more than 6% in court confirmation. He wrongly told his client on a probate that they need to get the listing approved by the court. Not true. He wrongly said that we needed to wait to get the listing done. Not true. We could list right away. We needed to file the publication for court sale in order to accept offers. So I know it's true in Orange County. I've been in your market enough to know. Don't let negative Nelly get in the way. Our mission as real estate agents is to bring joy and love to our customers by helping them and serving them. There are people in the way who'll try to stop you from your mission. Just don't let them stop you.
Thank you so much.
Does it help? Any other questions? I will tell you that here I am 5 years later, and I've done 100 something probate sales in LA County. I've done several of the larger portfolios that come to LA County for court confirmation, and that attorney won't return my emails or phone calls. So negative Neli is a liar, because even when you are demonstrably the best, they have some other stupid reason why they're not going to work with you. Okay, thanks, Jocelyn. Okay. Side joke, thought the secret to successful marriage is not to say the first two things you're thinking. Oh my God, Audrey, that's so true. Really, my secret to marriage is the fewer words, the better. Like anything you can say, anything you say can will be used against you in a court of marriage. So the fewer words, the better. And yeah, keep it moving. Okay, what was the name of the book again? I think that one you're asking about is A Course in Miracles. A Course in Miracles. It's a, I don't want to offend anybody, but it's a Christian book, and I'm not Christian, so I guess I can say that as much as anybody, not be offended. When I wasn't as spiritual as I am now in my life when I was young and kind of lost spiritually, I had good friends who were Christian, and introduced me to the book. Being Jewish, I can read Christian texts and relate to God and not let the Jesus part get in my way. And I don't mean to offend any Christians. I'm all for Christians. Nothing makes me happier than hearing a Christian say Christ is King, because I know it means we're on the same team. So I don't mean to preach, but I'm just saying, don't get offended by the book. There's a lot to learn about controlling your emotions, and regardless of the spiritual part and God and all that, I don't mean to it's that part of it, but at the end of the day, you have to have faith in something. And that was the particular flavor. When I wasn't religious, I use that book as one of my tools. So I would say if you're not religious, it's a great tool. Of course, if you are Christian, I think it's a great book as well. Did I offend anybody with that? I'm sorry if I did. Marianne Williamson is the author. I don't think she is. I think Marianne Williamson is a thought leader in that space. But I don't believe she's actually the author of the book. I believe the book came out long before her. I put the wrong book in the chat. Let me get the right one. Course in Miracles, Combined Volume Quarterly. I don't want that one.
I have those combined.
There you go. There's various versions. I don't think it's attributed to any author actually. But certainly not. She's a very powerful thought leader in that space. So anyhow.
Bill, I have the answer.
Yes.
The course was taken down by Helen Schuckman and Bill Thetford. Helen and Bill were in charge of the School of Surgeons and Physicians at Columbia University. And it began in the early 60s, and she was a channel for this for about 7 years. It's not a Christian book. It's not a religious book. It's a course in mind change. It's in changing our minds from living a life of fear to living a life based on love.
Yeah, but I mean, in fairness, as you get to the end of the book, it's about Jesus. Not that I'm offended by it. I just don't want to surprise anybody. And I think that I think sometimes people have kind of another agenda, and I don't have any such agenda. So I'm just laying it out that if you are, and I know there are people who are like put off by the name Jesus or the concept, the book will be difficult for you to get through. I would say try reading with open mind, but it definitely is an integral part of the text.
It was given to Helen by the man who walked this earth as Jesus, but he does not claim he's a God. He just claims that he's the same as everybody else. And it's not about him at all.
Okay. Again, I don't really want to debate the book.
Yeah,
I'm a big supporter, and I think it's a great book. But I think, in fairness to the non-Christian believers, as one who's not, and who wasn't when he started with it, yet tremendous respect for and appreciation for Christians and Christianity, I don't want anybody to get on my dime confused so as I'm saying, if you have questions, George sounds like he knows a lot about it. Feel free to reach out to him. As far as my stamp on that, I'm going to just say, again, if it offends you, I don't mean to. If you can't read the book with Jesus' name in there, I'm fine with that. Just know that. The quote, though, I think is definitely worth knowing. And anyhow, and it's one that I know that I learned a long time ago, and I hear quoted by people like Tony Robbins regularly, but it definitely comes from A Course in Miracles. But again, George, feel free to put your contact info, and anybody's interested in further. I'm very sensitive to people who are offended by it. Why? Because I think it's really important not to offend people. That's really one of my main values. And I'm not offended by people who do offend people. It's just not my place in the world.
I'm not offended at all.
Well, not you, but I do know that people would read that and get off track. I don't want that to get in the way of people learning. Okay. Mm-hmm. Thanks. Again, George, feel free to put your contact info in, and I'm just careful about my reputation. And I'm not here to really judge anybody else's spiritual path. So, thanks. Okay. And Albert first heard from Tony Robbins. Right. But Tony does attribute, it is a quote right out of the book. It's not, I don't think it's disputable that that's where the quote comes from. And it's a phenomenal book and definitely worth reading. Okay. Hopefully I saved you maybe part of it, but really the truth is the book is an exercise. It's a daily exercise. Mm-hmm. And how, it sounds good. All communication is either expression of love or a cry for help. Okay. How you become sensitive to that? How do you, in real time, it's one thing to know it, in real time, how do you react that way? When your seller's yelling at you, when the other agent's yelling at you, how do you control your emotions? And the book is a daily exercise so that when that happens, you recognize it. And I think the thing that I would say, like it to is, and I think I used the example of football before, how do you play fast? Well, if you practice not reacting to people's emotional outbursts in practice, and in real life, you have a chance not to react to other people's outbursts. It's one thing to read the book once and go, wow, that's a great concept. But it's a daily practice. And then when confronted with the difficult situation of somebody who's in tremendous pain, lashing out at you, they call you a name. And we've been trained to respond, but to say, hold on for a second, I don't have to. I can recognize it's a cry for help and it's not personal. They're just screaming at me because I'm the closest target for them, but they're desperate. So, and I think as a real estate agent, that's great training, a great emotional training. I don't think we get that in our business. So
I can help with that train of thought, which is one. If I approach somebody and I am like sort of in their face, as it were, and yelling at them, what I'm saying hasn't got anything to do with them. It's got to do with me.
Right.
So if you flip that around, you can then say what that person is saying has nothing to do with me. It has to do with them. And then you can sort of brush it by. It has nothing to do with me.
Right. Well, and again, it's one thing to say it intellectually, and I think it's great. It's another thing to say it over and over again, which is helpful. And there's another thing to take an intensive experience of it, daily practice of it. And that's what that book is a lesson a day practice to learn how to integrate that into your life. So definitely fantastic. Thank you. Thanks so much. Okay. And Stephanie says, thank you. It helps me in cold calling. 100%. I'll give you guys an example. I used to cold call expired listings. I would role play every day for 30 minutes with a partner, and then we'd go into call. We'd role play, I think 8:30 to 9, then I'd cold call 9 to 12. So in role play, we would purposely be as mean and loud and rude and offensive as we could, at least once. dropping F-bombs at each other. We loved each other. We were friends, but the practice was really intense. So one day I made a call, and I got this guy who gave me not one, not two, but 3 F-bombs on one call. Usually you get 1 F-bomb, they hang up. I got 3. Not like that, it was a uniquely deep voice. And when they hung up, I said, wow, I got 3 F-bombs. And I looked at the customer's name, and it was Donald Cornelius. Now, you might have to be older like me to remember Don Cornelius was the MC of, at the time, the famous TV program Soul Train or Soul Train. He had this amazingly Don Cornelius voice with which I got 3 F-bombs. I was so excited. I called my friend. Guess what? I just got the F-bomb 3 times by Don Cornelius. It didn't bother me. I felt bad for him. And I later came to realize he died not too much longer later. Tremendous stress, financial stress, personal stress. He wasn't really F-bombing me. He was just, unhappy in his life at that moment. So definitely, Stephanie will help out with your cold calling. Okay. What's my opinion of BNI message meetings? Avi, are you going to BNI meetings currently? Is that something that you're involved with and you're asking me, or are you considering it brand new?
Considering it brand new. Considering creating a chapter.
Got it. And where do you sell real estate?
In Boca Raton, Florida.
Boca. Boca is like my old girlfriend. I lived in Boca. I met my wife there. I was married there. We go back about once a year to Boca, North Miami. So really nice place.
Reach out to me when you come here. We'll go for coffee or lunch.
Love it. So BNI, for those who don't know, is one of several national business networking meeting organizations. And they have kind of a unique format and procedures. My experience would be, first off, it depends on where you are in your career. When I was younger, hungrier, I was going to them. What I realized was certain meetings were great and other ones weren't great. And so the key was either to get into a great meeting or to build a great meeting. So you mentioned about building your own. It takes time. You better plan on spending a few years building it. It's a lot of work. I'm not saying that as in don't do it. I'm just saying that's how long it's going to take before I think you see the payoff of that. And I'd be very careful about who you let in, because the quality of those relationships is the distinguishing factor. Just having somebody checks off each industry box will lead to an average group that won't be valuable. But there are, I would say, the top realtors, the top attorneys, the top wealth management people, among them are in BNI groups, but they tend to be in the same BNI group and work together and really have a high quality system. And I'd also would say BNI, like any system, you get out of it what you put into it. If you're going to do it, they have a system where you guest at other groups. Commit to that. Commit to going to different groups. Commit to speaking. Commit to the convention and the whatever else they have with it, or don't do it. I'd say go in full or don't go in at all. And that's true from my experience of any networking group, that either go in and be one of the leaders and dominate it, or don't do it. It was not worthy of that. Going in halfway, just being a member is probably not valuable for most people. Does that help a bit?
Yes.
I also would say, Avi, make sure you have your fundamentals in place, meaning, do you already have your email database set up? Are you already sending out contact information? Because as you meet people in BNI, you want to put them into your email campaign program where they get your real estate update every week. You want to have your social media set up where you're trying to encourage them to, come to your platform, whatever that is, your Facebook, your YouTube, your LinkedIn group, whatever you're doing of value for them, so that you continue the relationship. You have to have the next step. For me, I built my podcast, Probate Weekly. I would go to real estate networking groups back when I was building that, and I'd invite people to come to my podcast. And that was a way to also get those, in a room, you get 1 or 2 business cards, but you have 10 other people there who might sign up for it. And so you have to have kind of your lead magnet, your value that you're offering the marketplace, so that you can, accumulate those people and then stay in touch with them. Because just to go to the meetings and go home, if you don't have a system in place, you're not going to, the return on investment for relationships is a couple of years. Yes, you'll get some right now business, but you're going to miss out on the 2-year business if you don't have a system in place to nurture it. Does that help?
Yes, very much so.
All right, Avi. Thanks so much. Okay. And we need to have the fruitage of the spirit and patience of love, understanding where they can come from. We're here to serve, not sell. Evie, very nice. I think you're right. Jocelyn says, I like that they're category specific, depends on the members. Yes, Jocelyn, BNI has category specific and it depends on the members. Cool. Oh, hey, wow, the hour went by fast for me. How about you guys? Maybe because I coughed over half of it, but here we are. Hopefully you guys too. Any last burning questions? Anything we did cover? Anything we need to cover? I hope I didn't fumble the ball on Course in Miracles. I think it's a great program. But again, I know it's not for everybody. And if it's not for you, please just be okay with that. And know I'd like to help you if I can, but I also want to be appropriate and respect you where you're at. Anybody else? Hot break questions? If not, I think I'll just do a wrap up here and make sure we know everybody is for more tools. If you want to continue, this is Probate Mastery. If you haven't already, check out the 3 free videos: Probate Opportunity, Probate Marketing, and Probate Prospecting. It's probatemastery.com is the website. This is the free coaching and training weekly coaching program. Just click on that, put in your info, name, email, and phone number, register, and you get reminders to jump in this call weekly, free Zoom call. Love to have you join in and ask questions and participate. That you can see it on replay on YouTube. Continue the conversation with the Facebook community. There you get Bruce's smiling face. You get the weekly calendar, and then other questions, comments, other good content to help you with the business. There's a good looking guy. And here's somebody asking questions about conversations. I guess Michael's doing some role play. Good job, Michael. And some other ideas. So love to have you guys join there. Separately, I host probateweekly.com. Love to have you join me there, probateweekly.com. Just put your email address in, register, and you'll get invited to the Zoom call. That's Thursday mornings, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 Eastern time. If you scroll down, we have on different audio formats as well as the past episodes on YouTube. Again, that's probateweekly.com. And then I have a Facebook group as well, Probate Weekly. Just disappeared there. Love to have you join. And if you want to find me, go to billgrossprobate.com, billgrossprobate.com, and you'll get all my programs and things I'm working on and such. Love to have you participate there. So thank you all for your participation today. We went a little deep in a couple of them. Hope that was helpful. Have a great week, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.